tensions are going to be low. Sorry, I'm ready to roll here today. So when you come up to the event, it's going to have whatever your write-up is. I think it might be like cables low or something like tension low or aileron outer angle. You see as I loosen that up, it changes this, right?
Yes.
So that's why you want to go through a system. If you adjust this, then you adjust this, that's going to be out.
Yeah.
So you kind of get the body cables done, then you work out towards the flight control. So you would go, you wouldn't have any of this stuff on. You're going to come over to the, these may or may not be pinned when you come up, but you'll come over, you'll have a board like this, and you'll want to ask the judges, say, what do you want to see, and do I need to put my tools back, or they'll tell you make sure the tools are back, whatever the manual says. So some of them have shadow boards that everything goes back into. Some of them don't care, just put it back on the table. But you want to ask the judges those questions. Also, some of the events, they have torque wrenches, and the Air Force was very specific. They said the torque wrench has to be at 0.
Yeah.
If you back a torque wrench all the way off, it's past 0. So you have to stop on all the zeros lining up. Some of them say it has to be backed off as far as it'll go. That would be all the way down.
Yeah.
So you want to be very specific with your questions when you ask them that. And I know that's a lot, and I'm just going off memory on this, so what can I answer for you guys?
I mean, for right now, I mean, you pretty much explained everything I had to.
Can we do a trial run and you like shadow us to see?
Certainly.
What's
So
what?
we want to start with, we got 2 team members, you 2. All right, so you want to call this, these are the instructions, this is where we're going to start. So you want to call, first off, you want to make sure I think there's some stuff missing here. But you want to basically call out this. Check and clear aircraft and flight control before. You'll want to call out aircraft chalked, flight controls clear, aircraft clear. You want it, that judge needs to hear that. Then you'll say, all right, if you're calling out to him, turn on both hydraulics. So these, usually an airplane is a live airplane. The battery will be, battery switch power may be off, however they want to do it. So you're going to have both hydraulics in, both hydraulics off. So you'll say, turn on A and B hydraulic switches, check cycle ailerons, and check and install the rig pins in the captain's control wheel and the control quadrant.
Okay, yeah, that was going to be my...
Okay, so you're going to call it out. A and B on, A on, B on, cycle the ailerons. It doesn't say how many times, right?
Yeah.
Just, and then check and install the rig pins. So
just a question right there. Like, you just basically set this to the middle? Is that basically what it is?
yeah, your rig pin hole should line up at a...
Oh, you're looking through here? Okay.
Well, no, yes, it should be middle. It may have,
okay.
Theirs may have an indicator. I don't remember what theirs looks like. Yeah. So now that you've got, and it never told you to turn off hydraulics yet, right?
Right.
Yes.
So you follow the manual. So this is not a good practice to put a rig pin in with hydraulics on, but so you want to get, all right, that one's in, and that fits loose. So now we want to check the other one. Okay, it doesn't go in smooth. So you say aileron rig pins don't fit. So now you have to rig it. So now you call it out, whatever it is. Then you turn off and deactivate A and B hydraulics. I would pull the rig pins out. So then you got hydraulics off, A off, B off. Pull A and B circuit breaker, that disables it, and put your lockout tagout collars on. These just squeeze out and go on. Deactivated prior, the hydraulics need to be deactivated prior to starting any rig. They'll be activated. Use the cable diameter included to accurately measure the cable size. It's going to be something like this. Slide it on there, and what size cable do we have?
1/8.
Okay, so now we know we're going to be rigging 1/8 inch cables.
And do you know if they'll have that over there?
Yes, this is their manual. This is what you're going to go off of. So they have to have everything that you're going to have. Right there, they have a tensiometer and a cable gauge. Okay. All right. So then the next step would be record the size of the cable being rigged. There may be a piece of paper to write it down, so you can write down 1/8 inch or whatever. Set up. This is an electronic tensiometer. We don't own one at United, or I'd have it here. So you'll have to read how to go through this to set it up. It's different than this one, but it's the same basic ideas. You'll have a chance when you get there to go and talk to each of the judges and say, can you show me how to use that tensiometer? I've never used one before. They're usually very helpful to help you run through it. You may ask a question like for example, this one, there's a timer on the fuel transfer. It's something new this year. We have a built-in time for that. You may ask the judges, well, how long is the timer to take to transfer fuel? And if they go like this, they're not going to tell you because it's fixed, but this one can be adjusted. But they don't want you to know that time, so you have to actually wait to find out. And then but other times I might say, yeah, you're going to be looking for, they might say you're going to be looking for FOD inside the wing. Well, how much FOD is there? Yeah. So you got to go try to find everything you can. So they don't want to give you, they'll help you out, but they're not going to give you all the answers. So then you set up your tensiometer, use your cable rigging chart, and they're saying that here's your correction value. So it's 64 degrees outside, so you gotta look at that chart, figure out 64 degrees, and then you've got +5, so you can, if it's 100, it's 105 or -15, so it's 85 to 105 is your range. And when you look at this chart, if we go
64.
What we say, 64 degrees. Where's he at? Oh, he's way down the bottom. Okay, so 64 is 139. So it's +5 is going to be what? How much?
144.
And -15.
124.
Okay.
Does it say anything about? Well, like if it's one of
how do we determine?
It's right there.
Oh,
AA and AB.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So that's aileron bus A and aileron bus B. You always have, normally you have two sides of the cable, an A side and a B side.
Okay.
We don't care because which is which right now because they're all the same.
Okay.
If you were changing a cable, you'd want to know if you're on A or B so you can get the right cable to change it.
Okay.
Cool.
So once we've got that, so what was our numbers? 139.
So 144 to 124.
Okay. So then we take this chart, and we're 144 to 124.
Mm-hmm.
So our
24 to 27.
yeah, you got to kind of, well, that's 120 to 140.
Oh, you kind of do the.
You have to extrapolate.
Yeah.
Big word for me. So 120 to 140 is 20. So halfway between 24 and 27, that's 3. So it'd be 25 and a half is going to be 130. And then you just go down from there. But you are, something that you can do is you already know this value, you already know this value, and you already know it's 139. So you can already know that you can kind of practice.
Yeah.
It's not really cheating, but you know what the numbers are going to be when you get there.
Yeah.
But check and make sure the numbers are the same, because if they change it up, then it's going to throw you off. So you go to your chart and you figure out what your range is. So we're going to be somewhere between what, 25 to whatever 144 is
28.
Maybe. 25 to 28.
yeah, 25 to 28, right. So, and that's going to be our rig thing. Now, we've got that, and we know it's 1/8 inch cable. We need riser 2, so we're set up with that. Then you're going to record the required tension in pounds in per table 3, so there's going to be a place to write that down if you do. Remove your rig pins and cable clamps. Reset. Oh, okay, I missed that. F is use the values and tension the cables. So this is where you're going to adjust the cables and get everything to go in. Then you record the required, you remove the rig pin and cable clamps, reset the circuit breakers. Again, clear it, turn A and B on, cycle it 5 times. 1, 2, full thing is usually 5. And then, you know, follow your notes. And it's real easy with this to go real hard. Install your rig pins and recheck the rig load. If everything's good, turn off the hydraulics and go to the next step. If not, return to step B, which is way in the front. Yeah, way in the front.
Put it down.
Which is basically turn off the A and B.
Start over, yeah.
And
Start over.
Yes. And then after that, using the push-pull rod, adjust that. Safety of the turnbuckles per the diagram. Return all the tools.
Oh, so we do safety on.
Yes.
The pin. You safety the pin.
Right. You're gonna use that's a safety pin versus a safety wire.
Okay.
Now, when I actually did this, I was a judge for this event in Las Vegas back in late 2009, 10. I had them safety wire one turn barrel and pin the other. But it really threw a lot of people off. They don't know how to safety wire turn barrels. But they're just using the safety clips on that. As far as I know, they may have you safety wire. I'm not sure.
Okay.
And then these notes tell you what you can and can't have, and then you're done.
That's that.
Yep. And the standing time for this is about 3 minutes.
Wow.
So if you can beat that, you're doing really well.
It's like the